What do Obey need to do for game 2 here, though, to try and get back into it? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with the picks and bans. Their play is a little bit off, though.
You gotta shake it off.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. If you look at the X's and O's, Myflin could pick it up. I think Myflin needs to be a little bit more aggressive, especially if we're going to see a composition leaning towards the early game. But at the end of the day, Graham, it's really just one of these situations where that sucked, and let's pretend it didn't happen. Because Obey are a much better team than they just played, which is why we see the early surrender.
And we also see the early Susano ban from Obey themselves.
Yeah.
They picked Susano in the jungle. Myflin, like you said, didn't really get into it that game, it felt like. So they're going to switch things up. Ban Osiris too, so Wolves can't have that. They really try to change things up based off that first game.
The Raven and the Soul also banned out. So Obey
Zeus.
they want a different tone right now. Obey, think about it this way. Zoom out real quick with the Sun Wukong first pick.
Sorry, that's why I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoom out real quick. Obey were very powerful in a different meta. So what do? They ban out the current meta.
And try and go back to their old meta.
Exactly.
But I mentioned Zeus and Obey locking in Sun Wukong, which is, I guess we want to talk about that a little bit more. Why Sun Wukong first pick? When, I mean, even Bellona's still available, right?
Sun Wukong brings a lot of disruption, and I mean, he's a strong go-to selection when you don't really know what's going to come next.
Okay.
I don't know. Usually when we see first pick, we equate that to very powerful. I don't think that Sun Wukong is the most powerful character in the game, but he's a good... he has a good spread of abilities that can disrupt a lot of what the other opposition is going to bring.
A little bit surprised by the Odin Jing way pick by Obey as well, especially after Awilix got locked in so early. Granted, I guess you don't want them to have Odin as well, so they pin you in the cage and pin you down. But then, you know, you're still going to have issues with the gravity surge.
I don't like the Jingwei pick flat out. The Odin selection is...
So-so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obviously, Awilix counters the Odin. It is harder than it's easier said than done to actually pull that off. But it's also, like you said, Awilix and Odin create kind of a combo themselves. So you disrupt that combo. And then, like I said, unfortunately, I just don't like the Jingwei selection. She's really based around knocking herself up. You're playing into the hand of Awilix.
You are, although Geb kind of helps her out a little bit sometimes as long as gravity surge is down. It's sort of a to and fro. Chaac locked in over Bellona. What is the world coming to here?
Astral Authority just trying to try different things, I suppose.
Circles.
Yeah, Chaac, I mean, Chaac's a strong character in the early game. Astral Authority won the last game in 17 minutes and 57 seconds.
Fair point.
I think they're looking for the same thing.
If they can do it even quicker, they'll try to. Sobek and Chronos. Don't see too much Chronos just lately, but it looks like it should be in the mid lane here for Obey and Delta Marine, as Rama is the final pick for Transonics.
It's another thing looking at this draft on the left side about that Odin selection, an early game character. He's going to look to really do what Myflin couldn't do early on, and I expect to see him in the hands of Myflin again. Yeah. So Myflin just saying, look, the Susano didn't work. Let me try the same thing early game, but also tanky. That's why we see the Odin.
I mean, actually, talk about tanks here. It's Obey Alliance with a little bit more of a better front line this game. We saw last game Astral Authority had three tanks for themselves. It's Obey's turn this time round. Delta Marine in the mid lane on this Chronos and Mansa on the Jingwei are definitely the mid to late game damage dealers you're looking for. They kind of relied on Myflin to do work in this early game here.
And again, going back to what I said initially about Obey Alliance's draft phase, or ban phase, excuse me, look, they go back to the old meta.
Sure.
Odin, Chronos, Dwurst on the Sun Wukong. This is last year.
You're right.
That's what we're seeing.
You're right.
And, you know, Obey Alliance, Delta Marine on the Chronos. Listen, I don't care the changes this character had. Delta Marine is still going to be able to crush. The problem is, remember that Z-Man ban we saw in game 1? Coviii's got his Zeus. That's scary.
Well, we'll see what Coviiii can do with this one now, because obviously when you look at the Odin pick specifically once again, Astral Authority are kind of pinned in that ring for a long period of time without a Phantom. There's only one that can actually get out of it. Maybe two if you class Chaac with, you know, using two abilities to get out.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody else can really do that. It's only KhaoticPurpose.
Yeah, it's going to be Wolves and KhaoticPurpose, and, you know, Coviiii, Brochacho are going to be stuck. Transonics can take to the sky, but...
And I think that's one of the reasons I kind of like the sprint, because if you're not going to go for the Phantom, the sprint will allow you a bit more survivability inside that ring if you can juke it around a little bit quicker.
You know, honestly, the sprint's just an interesting pickup.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have liked to see that at level 12 instead of level 1, but El Brochacho, there are players that when they buy things, they kind of just buy things.
I get you.
Brochacho is the opposite.
I agree.
Everything this guy does in game is calculated, and he's going to show you his work cited. So I'm very curious to see where this sprint goes.
So I want to ask you, because you said you didn't really want to see sprint at the first rank, maybe like rank 12. What would you have rather seen for Geb here?
perhaps literally anything else.
Sunder, shells, meditation?
Probably the Phantom is the go-to option because of Myflin, although likely we'll see that come out of Wolves a little bit later. But Burchacho, I think, yeah, anything. Bracer has been very popular. Does a team want to all in the Geb? Probably not. I would like to see either the Sunder or, honestly, I would like to see the Frenzy.
Well, Myflin as well, talking relic-wise, he did start off with the blink here, so he's definitely looking for that aggression early on. Wants to try and hold on to that leap and that lunge as long as possible. And Wolves just experienced that lunge right now as he's trying to run away from the speed buff of Odin. Needs a couple of slows, but the tick heals of the potions for Wolves will keep him topped up.
Myth level 4 on that Odin, not available with the higher damage, or more importantly, the ring. How do you get level 5? Well, I think Wolves is probably toast because, like you said, it is a 2-button exchange to really get out of jail. So it's not much, but all he needed was 2 basics, and it would have taken that time.
In goes Myflin with a bird bomb. Big damage onto 2 targets there. Coviiii actually ageist as well, worried about any follow-up. And all it was just slowing down Astral.
Exactly. Listen, Delta Marine on the Chronos level 4. Time stop will swing for a little bit, but still not going to be enough to actually take down that target here just yet. Myflin was hunting for actives, relics, excuse me.
And he got him.
Yep, he got the beads out of the mid lane.
Yeah, but not beads.
Or the
Aegis
Aegis out of the mid
more
lane.
important, in my opinion, just because of the comp he's against here. Having that Aegis down means he's going to be able to accept so much more damage on the next rotation. Of a potential bird bomb from Myflin, who is now level 5, so that ring is now available for him to pin people in place.
Yeah, this is really where Myflin needs to flex, and when it comes down to it, listen, Myflin, native Tennessee. His Predators just lost the NHL Stanley Cup to Agro's Penguins, so he might be feeling down a little bit. But
you know what? Did you see me tweet yesterday about Agro? I was hoping the Preds would win, so I could watch the Preds win it all and see Agro's salty tears. It would have been so good.
I'm on the same path. Manser is on a bad path. Gets hit. But the ultimate going to get him out.
Saves the day, and Chacha only being level 4 there means he can't really look to follow up too much more. Cataclysm is available, potential, but too little too late. C'est la vie. Myflin gets his own speed, and once again, Astral really focusing once again towards those left-hand oracles if he can find them. But at the moment, the experience is all obeys.
Listen, I brought up the hockey game for a reason.
Yes,
so,
you did. Let's go
Myflin is good at shrugging off a bad loss. That's one thing that he's actually really good at.
He has to as a Preds fan, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Gotcha, yeah.
No catfish here in game number 2. So with the Susano game going as miserably as it did, this Odin game that's why we're seeing him jump in just to take an Aegis. That's why we're seeing him play almost over aggressive, because he wants to shake that game number 1. He knows he can, and he wants to make an impact.
Oracles do go down on the left-hand side, and it looks like it was a split between Obey and Astral. No shining light for either team over the Gold Fury. Astral Authority, though, trying to get their own speed buff here as Dwurst and Myflin were lurking around after pushing the wave in. This has worked out well for them, though, because they're denying a little bit more experience. And talking about experience, but Chacho still only level 4. Scrap that 5 now.
Wolves gets the kill on the Gremlins with the long-range shot, but here's the ring of the party. Afterwards, KhaoticPurpose gets smacked down by Dwurst. First blood for Obey Alliance, followed up by the second kill by Delta Marine.
Coviii's in trouble now, completely out of mana, surrounded by 4. Wolves is watching with his axe, and he only hits Delta Marine, looking for the cleanup of 1. Could have looked good for Myflin too. The Bluestone won't be enough to bring down the jungler, so it ends up being overall, look at the standings, 3-1.
Listen, sometimes they say about players they have eyes in the back of their head. Wolves has eyes front, back, left, right, all over the place, able to find the kill with the torrent to move him to the way into the enemy. Just wonderful stuff. Nice job to get his team out of that exchange with at least something. You got to grab something and run.
And so much of a better situation for Obey Alliance to be in, and the fans of Obey too, because Astral Authority looked so good game 1. Coviiii couldn't miss a beat. This game, they put him on the back foot early on. The Aegis was burnt earlier, and then that team fight where he's completely out of mana, forced to fight where he didn't want to. Keeping Coviiii down is very important in the early stages.
Listen, Obey Alliance recently changed their Hunter Air Cougar from Manser, and this is not just a easy change. Zapman similarly walked away from Eager, at least for the split. Air Cougar is the lifeblood of this, was the lifeblood for this squad, excuse me. He was kind of the default front man, if you will, and just always the guy to look at.
Surprised by Mansa dashing in there. Going to take a trade with Transonics, and yet again, he's winning this trade against Transonics. He's done this a couple of times in lane. This kid's showing why he's the replacement for Cougar.
And as Delta Marine gets a kill in the mid lane, Myflin going to fall to the hand of KhaoticPurpose, but he's out of mana, so I don't think KP is going to be able to jump into here either.
I don't think I'd really be upset by that if I was actual Obey Alliance. You're losing Odin for a Zeus trade? Not bad.
Exactly. Myflin absolutely doing his job. And you know, that's why I kind of brought up, still going for the boxing match.
I'm a little bit worried about Mansa in this one because he's a little bit too low on mana here. He's got to save enough for the airstrike in case things go terribly wrong. Take into account, Trans can always take to the sky to avoid damage and return a lot more after. That's
the thing. When you're boxing against a Rom, you really only have 85, 90% HP because once you get down to that low level, it doesn't matter where you run, Transonics is going to go to the sky and shoot you from the clouds.
And Mansa's just looking to head back to base, but Trans will stop that as Myflin gets his speed buff once again. Level 8 to the level 8 of KhaoticPurpose on the Awilix across the way so far. This is a good start for Obey as Jelly going to make sure Transonics can stop pressuring Mansa for a second and make sure he can pick up this farm.
Transonics, one of the more accomplished hunters in the league, and going up against Mansa, or Mansa going up against Transonics, and that's why I bring up the loss of Air Cougar. Because last game number 1, Obey Alliance lose to in no part to Mansa's hunter performance. It had nothing to do with him, but there's an intangible that your team leader brings. And without Air Cougar there, I don't want to say Obey Alliance in game number 1 looked lifeless, but they were missing something. Mansa can hit 100% of his basic attacks, and it still might not be what Air Cougar brought to the team here just yet. That's something that you have to grow over time with.
Well, Wolves on this right-hand side, you can see in his build he went for the Swift Wing as his next item, basically a star item.
Love it.
Gives him extra mobility to get back to lane with Tom, but that's about it. It does allow him, I guess, to save his teleport.
It's zooming. I mean, it does give you a lot of it. It does a lot. It gives you a little bit of HP 5 in that regard, and it's interesting to see the Swift Wing paired with the teleport.
Yeah.
Usually you see the Swift Wing picked up in lieu of teleport.
Oh, pulled in mid lane is Myflin after the launch, and Coviii's there to burst him down. KhaoticPurpose gets the kill, and Jelly's trying to lurk his way back to safety, but Brochacho's picked up Delta Marine instead.
DM gets up the ultimate. He gets it out. Now he's looking for the turnaround, finds Coviiii with the stun and the 1, looking for the follow of his Mancer off of the rotation, but Wolves' rotation is one better.
Dwurst came around the corners. The airstrike from Mancer is good, but not good enough to pick up the kill on Coviiii, who was so low. In the end, it's a 2-for-0 exchange in favor of Astral, although Trans in the sky looking for more. Not gonna find it this time, my boy.
Just the blind shots. Delta Marine doing a great job of just... So those blind shots, it's very interesting. I like what Delta Marine did there, running in circles. The blind shots, when you're going for those are all timing based. How long does it take for...
Sure.
Ooh, I don't know if Mansa's going to do this.
I mean, Mansa's on his own here. He's got enough.
They low, though.
He's got a gust, and if he hits the gust at the right time, Purpose to taking the autos. Gold Fury goes to Astral. Mansa not going to follow up any further than that as Gold Fury goes to Astral. So they win the team fight even more so now.
Yeah, absolutely. Astral Authority looking
Blink
fantastic.
Kid from Myflin. What are you smoking, Myf? Diving into 3. They really wanted that kill on Brochacho.
They were low.
But luckily enough, you know, he's going to get away with it. Meanwhile, mid lane, bit of a different story. Coviiii versus 2. Can he get the detonate off? No! The Trucker Horn's not available!
Delta Marine barely getting out of there, dancing in between the wall and the shield. Love the play out of the mid lane from Obey Alliance. Unfortunately, not enough to get them to win that team fight.
Funnily enough, though, if Myflin would have come mid lane, I'm pretty sure that could have been a different story for Coviiii against 3 members instead of him trying to dive in against 3. So it's 4-4 as it stands here. Checking out the builds coming up from players. Devour's Gauntlets up against the Iqval as well. Mansa's obviously a little bit further behind here. Sorry, further ahead in terms of build here after not going for the Death's Toll at the start.
So we discussed Myflin is going to answer the discussion of Astral Authority, and Coviiii going to add him to his sash of kills. 1 kill, 3 assists.
And that's the problem, is Coviii's starting to get fed again in this mid lane. Couple of survivals, couple of pickups and assists do start to add up and getting that build online a little bit more. Meanwhile, Wolves in this solo lane, he's basically just picking gods. The wave clear monsters. Osiris, first of all. Oh, Sunder missed. That was big.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Dwurst able to just kind of walk away, but still, Wolves hits him with the ultimate just for good measure.
But it's a win in the jungle, Tom, because they strip away the blue buff, and Delta Marine trying to rotate over to help out. He gets a trip back to base for free.
Too quick. Delta Marine really depends on that rewind ability to get out of jail, but kill him before it gets off. Oh, well. Dwurst wants to kind of talk about this Portal Demon, but he doesn't have no ultimate, so he's got to be very careful.
Still on his own, and Transonics now rotating from Astral means there's 5 members strong here
Too
for
late,
them
Myf.
to take down the Portal Demon. Dwurst could be in trouble as the rollout from Trans was pretty solid, but he'd not got into the bird form just yet, so no cripple this time. Mansa stayed in lane, however, so he should be able to chip down this tier 1 tower by the looks of it all the way.
Yeah, I love this decision by Manser as well. Not only because, sure, there wasn't going to be a team fight, it was going to be objective and then go away, but had that actually turned into a situation where there's a team fight, he's playing the Jing way. He can get over there at a moment's notice by heading back to base and using the passive. So I really like that choice to split push.
And that tier 1 tower as well kind of answers about the Portal Demon and what it gives in terms of golden experience. It's very, very similar in the amounts. Obey, though, starting to group as 4 members around the red buff for another rotation of it after Mansa got the last one, but they could be collapsed on here by being so deep.
Uh-oh, Astral Authority coming around. Myflin, thankfully, is going to be the straggler, but at the end of the day, Odin is not exactly somebody easy to kill.
Delta Marine by the looks of it, trying to run him down a little bit further. That's the gravity surge, gonna get the beads, and then the chain lightning's down. Then Delta Marine is down. No chance to rewind whatsoever.
You gotta have that instantaneous reaction time to really beads that out, because the pull halfway there is good enough for Awilix and her team. Down goes Delta Marine, not quick enough on those beads.
Good work from Dwurst to teleport in to slow down Astral Authority. Brochacho pulled into danger, and
Beautiful
the ring, but the ring might get him just outside of tower range, just in time to survive. Jelly, though, trying to get some nice damage off, and will do so. Dropping Brochacho so low, and Dwurst wants the kill. Mansa says, no, I am the carry here.
KhaoticPurpose trying to exit out of here on the right line, but Manser, he's got the answers, trying to find a way out. Transonics taking to the sky, looking for the hunter. One shot, one kill. That's all he needs.
Myflin will leap away as Dwurst, the last one on the battlefield. It's only the tanks remaining as Delta Marine now rejoins the action. Still a level down against Coviiii, and hunting Coviiii for a second until Wolves just says no, no, no.
I don't like this call. I know it's a 4-on-3 here, Graham, but I do not think Obey Alliance can deal with it simply looking at the combined HP of everybody else. It's not always about the amount of players you have. Sometimes it's about the amount of HP in total.
And it appears that's what Obey recognized too. Instead, they will fall back to their jungle, accept the fight for what it was, and just strip their own jungle down before Astral could look to invade. Although Wolves in mid, looking for Delta again. They're really after Delta Marine every single time here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the definition of forcing the issue. Yeah. Shouts to Anatoly. I mean, Astral Authority or Obey Alliance retreated 2 separate times, and the Astral Authority said, you're not allowed to retreat.
2 times in a row. KhaoticPurpose about to spawn. Less than 15 seconds remaining as I look at it, as KhaoticPurpose goes straight in with a blink, looking for Delta again. Delta stunned in place, no beats this time round. Wasted last time. Chaotic gonna duel out.
Wonderful.
I was gonna say he's gonna get the rewind, but once again the feather stake to the rescue.
Very rarely does that passive come into play, but KP on the Awilix has extended range on those basics, letting him get into place for the feather step. He's gonna fall after the fact, but absolutely incredible play by him earlier on.
Trouble, and he needs help from Jelly, but the silence will slow that idea down. Luckily enough, Mansa played it well enough himself to get to safety. Dwurst teleports in round the back here. No, Cancela just runs in round the back, and he's hunting potential kills with Jelly.
This did not go the way that Astral Authority had planned. Here's going to be the knockup on Elbow and Chacho. Myflin misses the jump. Shield is good. Dwurst looking for it, but the rollout too fast.
Sprint plus rollout, the biggest story there. Jelly still hanging around, and this is becoming a bit of a fiesta now, as both teams just want to fight and scrap over again. Wolves are going to slow down 2 tanks at the same time. Let's focus on the carry. Mansa has to deal with it himself. Coviiii is available.
That double slow was stupid good.
That was dope.
That was stupid good.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it looked it.
I think it was intentional.
Coviiii started up by Astral Authority, and Jelly eats a lot of damage from the detonate. So did Delta Marine, surprisingly enough. Mansa's poking away at Wolves, but I tell you what,
Wolves is poking back.
Those little pokey damages are not as good as what Wolves is doing with that chickpea.
That's what he...
Is that a chickpea? No, it's a chick. What's he called? A chick what?
Chickpea?
It's not a chick.
Like falafel?
It looks like a chick. It's a chick on a stick. It's got a stupid name. Goldpew anyway goes to Astral Authority. What's it called? I forgot its name.
Chikorita, the Pokemon?
No, it's a stupid Easter thing. That's what it is.
The Easter Bunny?
No, the chicken. The chicken on the end of his stick.
Oh!
What's it called?
Oh, I know what it's called.
Peep. A peep. Found it. Good. Coviiii may find a quick peep of a way to get back to bases he's plugged in. But the juggle of aggro's not great. Oh my god, he 3v1'd and Chacho's here. Bird Bomb's not good enough. And in comes KhaoticPurpose. Coviii's still alive.
Obey Alliance tried to take a peep at Coviiii, but he turns around
Kill
and makes
him.
them all
Kill him.
like marshmallows. Dwurst finally gets a kill on the Coviiii, but it took way too long, way too many resources. Myflin and Delta Marine down for the count, plus an ultimate out of Dwurst.
Absolute crazy that Coviiii got away with that. And for me, it was the juggle of aggro that was the mistake. That was the key. You saw the pluck coming out from Sobek at the same time as the stop time, and you missed the stop time, means Coviiii lives and goes, well, might as well drop up for damage before it. Oh, wait a second, I'll take you with me. Wait a second, I'll take you with me too.
That's how you have to play Zeus. Other characters have a way out. If we're looking at the Wukong, he's going to hit Slither and run away. Scylla obviously has her busted jump. Coviiii on the Zeus, you got to turn and burn and make them learn. There's no other way to play Zeus, and Coviiii out here looking like Z-Man Sr.
4,000 gold lead for Astral Authority, and after the second goal for you and that portal demon on the right-hand side that just went down, and things are starting to slip yet again for Obey. They've taken on these fights consistently,
The zigzags.
but they're not winning these
zigzags.
fights. Trans is in trouble here, rolls away, and nice little damage back from the rollout, but still Mancer's winning the trade, and he's not seen Trans, doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. He needs them now, but Coviii's here. Chain lightning this time, didn't hit his mark.
Ain't no such thing as a 1v1 in the Pro League. Get out of here, Transonics. Sit down, 40 seconds plus.
Works out well for Obey on the left-hand side because Mancer's having a pretty good set for himself, in all fairness. 2 1-on-1 this game. The standout play for me in game 1 as well for Obey Alliance, but still struggles over the map.
You know, it's interesting. I actually wanted to paint this picture of the different hunter builds earlier on, where we were talking about classic Transcendence for ability and Devo Gloves for basic attackers, because you're actually going to make use of the lifesteal.
Well, I'll just hold that thought for a second, because let's see if Mancer can get out of this situation. He runs straight towards Coviiii, but the sprint is there. And that's one of the reasons they're useful. But the Aegis to the rescue.
Oh, the Aegis.
Oh, the Aegis.
I didn't know I could hit that note.
I didn't know either, but you need to use that again in the future, that's for sure. This is what Chair 2 is doing to you. Coviiii up against Myflin yet again, and Myflin yet again has to be forced out thanks to Bro Chacho's rotation. But go back to the hunter builds now.
So what I really liked about the difference between our Transonics and Mancer is that this is also the second level, right? You have your ability base and your character base, but also your playstyle base.
Sure.
Transonics has this, I want to box you mentality. Ikaval right into the executioner. He's going to box you out early and often. And knowing Transonics, that's what he's looking to do. Mancer over here, he picks up the lifesteal. This is twofold. One, it's fantastic at letting him juggle the objective aggro. He's going to sit there and be able to tank, whether it's Fire Giant or Gold Fury. But also, later on, when Transonics wants to box. Like, I don't know, 19 minutes in?
I don't know if
Mancer's going to get the upper hand because he has the lifesteal.
It's a good point. Mancer just wants to box all day, but he's against the crit of Transonics here. We'll see how this works out.
But he got the lifesteal.
I was going to bring up the fact that Transonics here, why do we not see Rama's going for Shift the Shield? I mean, we saw a little bit of them going for Transcendence, like Ataraxi was doing it for power. Wouldn't that work well with Shift the Shield on a Rama too, then?
Yes, but that's the minority thinking right there. Mancer going to jump forward and try to find the fight one more time.
Oh, I like these two.
Oh, I love him.
I like this new kid, Mancer. He gives Transonics as good as he gets, and that's something I've not really seen too much in the dual lane before.
Yeah, it's tough to really match up the Trans, and here on the right side, a completely different story. However, Delta Marine, pbnjellly, Myflin, they're here, surrounded by 4 members of Astral Authority. pbnjellly gets pulled up, pulled down, but still alive.
Still alive as Myflin drops the ring around Bro Chacho and Coviiii. It's more a defensive ring for Obey to stay away from than anything. Myflin's already dead, though. Wolves credited with the kill. And once again, Delta's forced back as Coviiii escapes without taking that much damage.
Tier 2 tower on the right-hand side going to fall down as well as Wolves and KP show their worth. and take it down 500 in the pocket.
Meanwhile, though, Mansa is refusing to give up anything in this duo lane. I was going to call it solo, as Dwurst is going to use the monkey to jump after Chaotic, but he is Susano after all. Wolves going to be a bit more of a tricky situation, but with the sustain from the rain, he should be fine.
He's Chaac, no
Fights
big
everywhere.
deal. He's tanky as hell, he has the shield. Manser takes a shot from the tower. That's going to put him at a disadvantage here. He takes 2 shots and 3 shots, but like I said, the Devo glove is going to keep him relevant, but this is the scary part of the
holding
fight.
it, doesn't find the second, the third doesn't hit either. Not sure if Aegis was burnt though, I cannot guarantee that from this position, but I think it was burnt down by Mansa. It's the only reason I think he lived. No,
I thought the third shot hit.
I did too, that's why I was like, I swear that must have been Aegis. Meanwhile, mid lane, Delta needed an Aegis, he had one, but he didn't get a chance.
Too soon, too quickly. That's one of the nice things about knockups in this game. When you get knocked up, you can't use your stuff. I say nice, but I mean nice for the aggressor, not the defender.
Meanwhile, while there's a little skirmish in mid lane yet again, Astral Authority paying their attention towards the objectives, get them an advantage, and start them up, trying to continue getting this lead.
Exactly, Astral Authority know what wins games. Kills, it could be 70-17, and as long as you have the gold, you're still in the lead. Astral Authority up 5K, looking to fight with it.
Yeah, Myflin going to try and lead the charge in, but who's the charge for here? That's the issue. You can't really look for the Awilix. The Chaac's going to have a hard time killing him, and then the others were already out. Rough situation now for Obey with 3 tanks. They could be looking for a cheeky play at the Fire Giant, but the bad news is
Wolves is on their tail. He's right here.
There.
He's right here. He's going right on in. Gets knocked up by the Fire Giant. Half HP on the objective. Here comes the elbow drop. Wolves gets the big silence on everybody. But pbnjellly looking to answer back. Wolves with the dance all the way to the other side. pbnjellly in trouble.
Purpose in a lot of trouble though, but a nice shield from Brochacho keeps him topped up from the Mansa damage coming in. Mansa though turns his back for a second. Forwards to beat and Aegis to defend as Transonics. He wants it and he'll take to the sky again. 1 shot, 2 shot, not that time. 3. Once again, Mansa gets out, but Trans isn't done. Well, he might be now because Delta's still chasing.
It's all good. Listen, it's not frequent that you see a hunter give his life up for an objective. That's what Transonics does, except he doesn't even have to give his life up. He handles it himself as Wolves handles Dwurst.
Oh, they just don't seem to be on the same page as target selection here. They're not communicating as well as we've seen them before in the past. And one by one, they're just getting stripped apart as Astral keep running back in. Beating them again.
I love Wolves on this Chaac. He's able to fight, back off, heal up, and fight again. And P.S., while he's healing, the enemy's slowed to a slow.
And while they're slowed to a slow, the reinforced hammer that he's got in his... Sorry, reinforced hammer, I should say, will also increase his damage output. So it's a win-win situation for Chaac in the solo. Win-win situation for Astral here as they're looking for game 2. This Fire Giant's theirs.
Yeah. That's a really, really big win for Astral Authority there.
Do you think some of this is Obey taking the foot off the gas too, however, with the fact that they know they've pretty much qualified already?
I don't think that's
I was a little bit worried about that, and I wanted to ask that, because I'm like, is it? Could it be?
I don't think that's the case whatsoever. I really think that there is a lack of leadership without Air Cougar.
Without Cougar being here. Well, Thorns is down, and Myflin is not down yet, but KhaoticPurpose's Bluestone will be enough to pick up that kill as Myflin did a celebrated leap into the eye. Let's go to duo lane and check with the Hunters, boxing away one more time. Bad news is Mansa's on the wrong part of town right now, and there's an army of Astral here to defend.
Yeah, Mansa also doesn't have the Fire Giant buff either.
I like that.
Transonics looking for the aggression here. Now it's going to be Brochacho taking onto the tower. Ultimate used by Mansa, but where are you going?
Coviiii was sat... Why is coming in furthest forward on the team between Tier 1 and Tier 2? 2 tanks around him and just watch him manage to get a free kill for the side of Astral.
Because positioning is relative. It might be pushed up, but in his mind, he's behind waiting for the flank.
Tier 1 tower falls down. Fire Giant works out well for Astral as they get that one. Tier 2 on the right is also taken by Wolves at the same time. Wolves is now in a Phoenix, forcing 2 to defend, which means his team can meanwhile continue
forcing
pushing
3 to defend.
3.
Big man Wolves over here.
Well, Marine managed to get across to this left-hand side, but he's going to be here a little bit too late to stop the Phoenix falling. Jelly will get back to safety, but Wolves has now joined his boys.
That play right there from Chaac is where he gets his moniker from. He's not Wolf, he's Wolves, because by being a single person, he forces multiple people to defend him.
17-9, and the Phoenix falls on the left already. KhaoticPurpose being run down by Dwurst in the jungle against the Sun Wukong. Jelly, meanwhile, has to take a trip back to base as KhaoticPurpose still alive thanks to Brochacho and the shields once again. Still looking to commit for Sun Wukong if they can. The rest of Astral happy to try and keep fighting in a lane that they don't need to be in anymore.
They just don't. Yeah, this is just for fun. Astral Authority just having a good old time. There's going to be a grab by Jelly. Trouble for KP, but he dances away, and a nice shield from his support saves the life of the jungle.
Still, Dwurst was trying to kill KhaoticPurpose, and in the end, he falls down. Mansa jumps straight in, way too deep towards a Chaac. Not the best idea in the world. That's why you saw Obey push forward to try and support him. And in the end, they've got to fall back as Cactus and Brochacho knocks up Mansa. Mansa not being invested in because Coviiii was looking for Jelly.
Coviii's looking for anybody that'll show him anything close to a health bar. Wolves, on the other hand, taking care of it under the Titan. Transonics taking care of it under the Phoenix. And Astral Authority taking care of it under everyone else. Game 2 easily.
Well, they only won once so far this split in a straight 2-0. This is the second time, and what a time to do it up against Obey, who have been sat at the top since the weeks began.
Yeah, this is the changing of the guard, if you ask me.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think that Obey will take a slouch down to Astral Authority, but will they return is the question that I'm going to ask myself, and I'm going to watch the next couple of weeks really heavily because, like I said, it's not the play. Mancer's hitting the shots. Yeah. Mancer's fighting Transonics. It's not the play of the other guys either. There is a lack of target selection. There's a lack of objective calling. This team, I don't want to say it looks like a chicken running around without a head on, but there is a lack of leadership here, and it's evident.
Well, different story, though, for Astral Authority. Wolves had a fantastic game on Chaac in that game. Wasn't the hardest work in the world for him to do, just run around throwing axes out, and not chickpeas, but, you know, peeps, same thing.
Peeps are sweet, and
I don't know why I thought chickpeas.
Chickpeas are savory.
I thought chick, and I was thinking of
they're not even
peeps.
the same color.
No, listen, chick, and I was thinking of peeps, but peeps, and it was like, no, chickpeas, no.
Peeps.
It's too late. But Wolves, solid game. This was just nice burst consistently. Very hard to kill. That's what Chaac brings to the table. His CC's kind of lackluster, but he made it work.
Yeah, exactly. Specifically speaking about, I doubt we have a replay because it was one of those just like off-the-cuff moments. He's over by the enemy purple buff. He throws the axe over by the tower and then runs into the jungle, hits the slow, so the rotation via the lane is slowed as well as the players coming into the jungle. That's how you control with Chaac.
Beautiful, beautiful little play coming out from Astral Authority there. Good performance from them overall, and they've still got a couple more, you know, situations going forward for themselves in next week where they can potentially try and catch up even further towards that top spot. Not sure if they can make it, though.
I honestly, if they play like this, they being Astral Authority, absolutely. Not a question in my mind.
We'll find out next week, but we're not done this week just yet. We'll be back after the break with the final set of today. I believe it's strictly business versus Saw.